to Train Sim World 2 Surprise Wednesday. So, yesterday we did try to do a service from San Jose to San Francisco, and obviously the game crashed on us. So, we're going to give it another shot. We're going to do a service from San Francisco to San Jose, a limited stop service on the MP36PH-3C CT. So we're going to get everything going here. Get our brakes set up. Get the reading light on. That. Marker lights, gauge lights on. That on. Get our number lights on. Ground lights. Step lights. Number lights are automatically on. Let's get our alerter on. All right. Let's have a look outside here. Okay. Let's get the doors shut. Got one viewer in. Thanks for coming in. Hopefully... Oh, I think we can go ahead and depart now. Oops, might help if I release the brakes, huh? That might help a little bit. Yeah, it was kind of unplanned, so I just wanted to come back in and try to do a service here on Peninsula Corridor. So, yeah. We'll revisit the Punch and Cookies story as well once we get closer to Palo Alto. For those of you who missed that yesterday, and I did delete the video here on Twitch after a little hiccup yesterday, so we're gonna give this a go and see if we can't get this service done without a game crash. Didn't even get an error for the memory, because that's usually what happens when it freezes up like that. There's just too much going on. Of course, my Xbox One, for whatever, it's not able to handle all that stuff, so I think it just crashes the game, unfortunately. So but anyhow, hopefully everybody's having a good Wednesday night, early Thursday morning, wherever or whatever it is Thursday for you, anywhere in the world. So yeah, what I did this time is I just went ahead and let the game load up, get the service loaded, so that way we weren't waiting forever for things to kick off. So should start speeding up just a little bit more here shortly. Get up to 25. Now let's see. Is there somebody? It's like we gotta cross over. I don't know. Oh, there's a train waiting for us to cross over there. We can't stay outside too long because as soon as we get closer to the overpass here, we're gonna get. We'd be put right back in the cab, yeah. So, anywho. So they're waiting for us to move out the way. Which is kind of weird. I guess it depends on what part of the station we leave from. That creates that sort of that train had to wait for us to clear out. Yeah. Boy, I think oh, this is gonna be. We're gonna be a little bit past here. Oh, just the way we wanted to start the service, huh? Oh well. All right. Oh boy, we are way. All right, we're gonna be here for a little bit of time, so. That's not too bad. We'll close this door. We'll close this one. Everything else is good. Well, I want to run down here and get the tail lights put on here. The last car. We got the lights on already. We got the get that all started up, which is good. So this should be run lights on at least. All right, well. Oh well. It's not a. It doesn't seem like there's a selector for it, but oh well. That's all right. At least it's not a rainy service this time, and other than kind of overshooting this stop, hopefully we don't. Oops. We don't give up or don't have any more major issues. So we're sitting here for just a bit of time. I wonder if there's another service in front of us. Let's take a look real quick while we got a moment. Because the next stop's going to be Bayshore, which is right. I saw the stop. Where'd it go? Should be right there. So we'll be stopping at Bayshore there. And then we'll see what happens after that. All right, we should be able to depart here in a moment. And away we go. Yeah, I was a bit surprised how the game just crashed yesterday. But like I said, I think it's just a layers issue, or the older consoles, the PS4s and the Xboxes that were put out around about the same time just don't have the same processing power as the newer consoles do. Yeah, I think that's why we have more crashes. I know they're working on memory optimization, as they call it. I don't know that it's going to, how it's going to really impact the newer consoles, or the old consoles, I should say. What's going to be given up, in order for the older consoles to kind of catch up to the newer stuff. A lot of people felt that was what a problem was with a ROSA line, that too much was given up in order for the game to be released on consoles. That most people have, or are able to get a really decently powered gaming PC at this point. But not everybody wants to play on PC. That's just the reality. That's a lot of money to spend for just such a specialized thing like that, playing a game. But now, consoles are certainly at a point where they're PC-like in nature. They're able to have that kind of processing power, almost like a PC. Alright, so we will have to slow down here as we go into the siding for Bayshore. So we'll give up the middle two right there. Will be, as for those services that don't stop at Bayshore but are continuing on to either towards San Jose or up to San Francisco. You know, for those of you who haven't watched my Peninsula Corridor route videos before, Bayshore, well, the station has been somewhat modernized. I don't think, years ago when I was riding the train up to the city, I don't think they had that nice crosswalk there like they do now that goes over the platform, so people aren't tempted to try to run across the tracks here. A lot of foolish people will try to take their chances, but over on the other side of that hill, see if we can get up here a little bit higher. Basically, it was just on the other side there is where Candlestick Park was. That's no longer, it's been torn down. That's where the Niners played football, American football, soccer. San Francisco Giants played there for many years. It had went through a lot of retrofitting after the '89 earthquake, but they couldn't even after all that, it still wasn't safe enough in the eyes of some folks. So, all right, South San Francisco is next, 3.5 miles. So far, we're on time. Our stopping could be improved just a little bit, but not too terribly much. Just got to pay attention to our braking zones and try to brake a little bit quicker, or not quicker, but hit our braking at an appropriate time so we don't go too far past our mark. But I anticipate we'll be good for a gold at the end here. But yeah, I remember going to Candlestick Park back the years that, or the baseball season where Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa were in the home run race to beat, what's his name? He was a Yankees player too. Roger Maris. I had to think about it for a moment. They made a movie about him. It was a very sad movie. I mean, nobody wanted him to break Babe Ruth's record, and if anybody was going to do it, they wanted Mickey Mantle to do it. And Roger Maris was just treated like trash by the fans. In some cases, the media just didn't like him breaking that record, and they felt that if anybody was going to do it, it was going to be Mickey Mantle. He was the preferred choice, but and he had a good run at it, but his health was not all that terrific. So but when McGwire and Sosa, both who later on found out that they had been using steroids, it was a great season. Got to see them both play at Candlestick Park, but it was unfortunate that afterwards that they had been found out that they. Now I don't know if what they used was illegal at the time, or there was some enhancement drugs that hadn't been banned by the Major League Baseball Association, or Major League Baseball, basically. But I think McGwire's. I got to get up to the Baseball Hall of Fame again sometime. It's here in New York, in Cooperstown. I don't know that they had his bat there from that season. I don't know if they removed it after it was determined that he had been juicing. is what they call using steroids, so, or performance enhancing drugs. So I don't know if his bat is still there next to Roger Maris's or not. I don't know if the Hall of Fame determined that it wasn't appropriate for his bat to lay next to Roger Maris's there in the Hall of Fame. You know, of course, Barry Bonds broke that record as well, not too terribly long after it was set by, I think, Mark McGwire. Yeah, he edged Sosa. But you know, of course, none of his stuff he won't see the Hall of Fame because of accusations against him about performance enhancing drugs. All of which I maintain were taken at the direction of his trainer. I don't think he really knew exactly what he was doing or using or whatever. I don't think it was you trust the trainer to tell you the... There we go. That's a much better stop. Look at that. There we go. There goes the northbound F40. The DuPont Gallery cab car services. The way that goes. I was talking yesterday about in San Francisco the historic F line, which is they have basically interurban cars. Many of which are from the United States, from different cities. I think there was one from Cleveland, a couple or two from Los Angeles, some from San Francisco. Let's see where else. Anyway, they even have a couple from Italy. Really neat designs, and you can ride on them. If you go to the website, if you ever go to the city and you want to plan it out, you can check like the day of, before you head over there, you can see what's running at that particular time on the F line, and then you can decide if you want to wait until a certain one comes around. You could take it from downtown there. I can't remember how far the station is from the train station downtown here in San Francisco, but you can go there. You can just sit. There's like these concrete benches right by the station area basically, and you can just sit and watch them come through. You can take pictures, of course. It's a pretty neat little area, so you don't always have to ride them, or you can just wait until it comes back around. You can take it down to Fisherman's Wharf. Yeah, really, it's kind of a neat experience. So yeah, if you ever get to the city, definitely put it on your bucket list of things to do in San Francisco, other than ride the cable cars. I know everybody likes to go ride the cable cars. But yeah, and if you do ever get a chance, go to the Cable Car Museum in the city. You can see some of the early cable cars that were in use in San Francisco, long time ago. And you can see the cables running. There's like a room you can look and watch the cables run out to different lines. So yeah, pretty neat thing to go see. But they have some of the earliest cable cars still on display there. And I think you could look down into the maintenance area a little bit as well. You could watch them work on the cable cars themselves. I know the lines usually get taken down every so often for maintenance. There's a lot of work that has to be done on the lines and all that. I know one time, I think it was it was probably like about 8 years ago. I was in the city. I was staying there after I got back from Iraq, and I walked down. I was like, oh, I'm gonna take the cable car to down by Fisherman's Wharf, and I got there, and it was the line was closed for maintenance. So I end up walking from the near the Japanese Cultural Center, which is where near where I was staying. Like I was about 2 blocks away from that, and end up walking all the way to Ghirardelli Square. It was quite a walk. A lot of uphill, a lot of uphill, but it was worth it. It was a really nice walk. Walked right past Lombard Street, the famous twisty street, very short. It's kind of zigzags down the hill, kind of. That's a huge tourist attraction as well. We didn't blow out of the station here, so that's good. We're all on the platform. But yeah, it was quite a hike, and did I arrive late? I sure did. What the deuce? Wow. I kind of messed that one up. Dang. Okay. Well. No, we didn't lose too many points, at least. Alright, let's head to Millbrae next. Yeah, I was looking at that time. Wow, I pulled in a little bit late. But, yeah. What was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. No pun intended. But yeah, do check out the F-Line. Do check out the Cable Car Museum. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. I walked. It was quite a walk, but it was worth it. I enjoyed it. I got to see parts of the city I hadn't seen in a while, and just enjoyed. I did walk up to Coit Tower, I think, the next day. Got there. The tower was closed to visitors. Of course, this was before the pandemic, and that's another thing. If you get a chance to go there, check that out, especially if you can go to the top of it. It's really nice view from up there of the city, because you're already on top of it, pretty good size hill, and so it makes it all more worthwhile that you can go see everything from up there. But yeah, it was that's quite a hike, and I I did a lot of stair climbing that day, climbing up there, going up there, and then get all the way there, and it was like, it's closed. So I kind of wandered around and all that, but it was. I've been up there a couple times whenever I visited home. I finally was able to get to the top of the tower when I was visiting one time, and it was worth it. And I think from there I walked down to Fisherman's Wharf, basically, all the restaurants and all that, and met a friend, his family at Harold, my good friend Harold, who we used to play Forza Motorsports. We'd always compete against one another on the time attacks. He'd set a time, I'd beat it, and he'd go back and drop it by just a fraction of a second. So I'd have to go in there and try to have a go at it. But yeah, I met Harold and his wife, and one of his daughters, I believe, was with them. We had lunch, I think, at Planet Hollywood, or it was a Hard Rock Cafe. Yeah, there in San Francisco. Oh, yeah, good times. There were planes flying over from the airport there. Well, this time we're on time, so we just had that little minor hiccup, but we're caught back up, so we're not, things aren't too bad. We're good to go. So yeah, we're okay time-wise. See if we can spot the plane still or not. No, looks like it's long gone. Somebody was commenting the other day, I didn't see, but apparently during one of the live streams, this is hauling butt up there to the city. Wow, what a mission. That people were complaining that the planes that you see flying in the game, that the wings are not at the correct angle or whatever, like this minuscule little crap like that, you know. Wow, people complain about that. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, there's lots to see there in the city. I really wish I could figure out a way, hopefully at some point. I'd like to get back home and spend some time there in the Bay Area. It'd be nice. I like visiting, visiting because I see things kind of from a touristy perspective now. I don't, like there was a lot of stuff I just overlooked when I lived in California. I was born and raised there. And, you go back and you're like, oh, I want to go see this. And, like last time I was home 2 years ago this week, I was home for Easter and I spent some time in the city. And I think it was the first time I ever went to the old the ruins of the old bathhouse that was right along the coast there of San Francisco. It burned down in a fire. I'd driven by them but never stopped, so it was the first time I actually stopped and took pictures. But I'd like to go back and do that again. But maybe go at a certain point where maybe the light would be a little bit more dramatic or something. I don't know. But yeah, it was a pretty neat thing to do. Went over to the Palace of Fine Arts. Went over to buy one of the other museums, which wasn't open to the public. Again, this is all pre-pandemic. But it's got Rodin's The Thinker statue there. We're heading to Burlingame. I forgot to say where we were stopping next. I just realized that. I got a picture of that, but I kind of had to use a zoom lens, and it really wasn't the best picture. And they had it the gate was open, but there was like a security person standing right there. And I said, well, can I just go in and take a couple pictures real quick and come right? No, sorry, you can't do that. And I'm like, so I said, can I stand here and take some pictures? Oh yeah, you can do that. Okay, thanks. So it wasn't really the best picture I could have gotten. I'd like to get, a little bit closer there and get a better picture, but well, I might blow through this one. I'm not paying attention at all. Let's see if we just put it in emergency. Nope, we're still gonna blow a little bit past. Well, I am terrible tonight. I am just really not focusing. There's one full car. Okay, well, that's not too bad. Let me close this one. Well, at least we're on time. Boy, I gotta really pay attention to my stopping a little bit better the rest of the trip. That's twice now. Yeah, that's not good. Alright, let's just get the rest of the doors closed. Even might have to test for my license again. I'm so busy thinking about touristy things to do and all that, and I'm not paying attention to my braking zones. Oh, that's what that light does there. Huh. Lights up that door that goes into the engine compartment, I think. Can't get in there, or can't look through the window to see what it looks like in there, though. Unfortunately. All right. San Mateo's next. Let's see if we can nail San Mateo a little bit better than what we just did at Burlingame. That's 2 atrocious stops. That's 1 too many. Ooh, it's supposed to be cold tomorrow. It was cold this morning when I got up, and got myself situated, and then ran next door to get some creamer for my coffee, but they didn't have what I wanted, so I bought some half and half, which was like, oh, that was a bad choice. Luckily, I only bought the small carton, so if I toss it out, it's not a huge loss. But I finally got some French vanilla. Maybe tomorrow after class I'll run over to Walmart and get some of the sweet Irish creamer, just to have something different. Oops. Alright, now I feel like we're in a little bit better control on this stop. We can kind of cruise it on in from here. We'll just put it on the initial reduction. There we go. That's much better. Much better. So some of the stations do have kind of a Spanish feel to them, because there was a lot of Spanish missionaries in California years ago, a long time ago. So there is some influence. You could see some of the missions are still open. You can tour them. I think there's one in San Juan Capistrano that's still open. I can't remember where else. I know I visited when I was a kid. It was like a field trip thing. We went and visited one of the missions, the Spanish missions. You learn about the adobe building process, how they made the bricks and everything. Hayward Park is next. Yeah, it was kind of a neat experience. I think there might have been one open in San Luis Obispo. It again, if you Google it, it'll tell you what's open or what you can still tour and everything. Of course, there's got to follow the rules of the pandemic, and they could probably only take so many people at a time. So you probably have to kind of plan ahead, be there early, and get your ticket and all that. If they charge, I don't remember if they charged or not. But of course, when I went, I was a kid, so we probably, our parents probably had to pay, $5 or whatever, and it was all pulled together for a group, kind of thing or something like that. Looks like we might just about nail this stop. Look at that. Yeah, not completely nailed, but a lot better than we've been doing before. So, we got there. Time to spare. Go ahead and get off the brakes. Oh, I hear another service going through. F40 with the Nippon Gallery cab car. Hayward Park, obviously not on their stop list today. Alright, Hillsdale is next. And this is where we had the hiccup yesterday. I think going into Hillsdale, that's when the game crashed on us, coming up from San Jose. So, yeah, unfortunately. But, yeah, so... Yeah, it was chilly though today. It warmed up, although it didn't seem like it was going to be warm because it was really overcast most of today. I thought for sure we were going to get some rain, but every time I got ready to go outside just to either ran across the street to the Chinese restaurant for lunch, got me some pork and broccoli, which was really good for lunch. And then but I was looking at the temperature and it was like in the mid 60s, and it did, every time when I looked outside, I'm like, it can't be in the mid 60s. It looks like it's about 40 degrees out. Yeah, it's gonna get cold tonight, and then pulling into Hillsdale here. Now that's a nailed stop right there. Look at that. Bam. Now if they could all the rest of them be like that, we'll be cooking with Crisco. So of course I like to tell a little story about this service, even though it's not a true story, but it's morning service. Maybe we're taking people back home for the day. Maybe they worked overnight up in the city. Maybe they worked like a grave shift or something. People heading home. I always like to imagine what's going on. Why are we running this service? Other than it's in the game. As they used to say on EA Sports, it's in the game. I don't think I've played EA Sports in quite a long time though. Used to play Madden football quite a bit back in the day. Haven't played it. Can't remember the last time I played it. It's been a long time. I probably couldn't play it now. There's so much stuff that they've made it. It's pretty amazing what they've done with that game. I am kind of curious, though, I won't lie, about the new baseball game, the Show 21. Thought about buying that, but probably not. I'd like to get a golf game, to be honest. I did play PGA Tour for a little while. That was pretty fun. Belmont is next. That would be, I think, I don't think many people would want to watch it because you can watch golf on TV. A lot of people compared watching golf to watching paint dry on the wall. Oh, you know what? We don't need the reading light on anymore. We don't have any more tunnels, so we turn that off. Yeah, I wouldn't mind a golf game. I think that would be interesting. But I don't think it would do well for a stream. Not unless it was like a multiplayer sort of thing. And I don't know if there is a multiplayer component to it. There might be. Alright, arriving here in Belmont, we should be on time. Yeah, we'll be there on time. Not a completely perfect stop, but not too bad. Wow, a lot of services today. It's probably like the 5th or 6th one we've seen heading south, heading north. I mean. All right, San Carlos is next, and then Redwood City's after that. And it looks like we might go from Redwood City. Maybe we'll make a couple more stops, and then we might be just going all the way to San Jose, I think. Now, it used to be, again, they may have changed their timetables, but there used to be, when you talked about limited stop service, you bypassed a lot of stuff. Once you left San Francisco, you didn't stop until probably about Millbrae, and then you had some other stops along the way, more of the major stops. But I think it depended on, they may have had special services, generally for after baseball games or football games, to get people back home a little bit quicker. There was a lot more train services, I think after when I went all the way up into San Francisco to Pac Bell Park there was way more, seemed like there was way more services available. You could find one that was like an all stop, or you could do a limited stop service. They didn't have a non-stop that went from the city all the way down to San Jose usually. I think those were generally for like rush hour times. So I've been watching this show on Amazon Prime that I don't think I ever heard of before, but I've really started to like it. It's this show called Ballykiss Angel, and it's set in this little northern Irish town, and it's this priest. He's assigned to the church there, and he's got how he deals with he's English, he's not Irish, and if some people didn't particularly care for him when he arrives and all that. It's a really nice setting where they filmed it, but they're in the northern parts of Ireland. I do eventually have to watch something on Netflix called The Russian Doll, which I've never heard of before, but we have to watch that. I think it's like an 8-part series or something like that. I gotta watch that for Afterlives. Then we have to watch a Buffy the Vampire Slayer episode at some point, and all kinds of stuff. We're about wrapped up with the whole Dante's Inferno, or Dante's Divine Comedy now. Alright, away we go. Redwood City. Climate best by government test. That's what the gateway says there. The arch. The Redwood City Arch, as I like to call it. It was probably a time where the climate was probably really good in Redwood City. I don't know that it is anymore, to be honest. That might be a bit of false advertisement. Redwood City, and then Palo Alto. Okay, so then when we get to Palo Alto, we will. Well, I'll tell the story anyway. Right? We'll just get it out of the way. So, years ago, there was somebody that I was quite enamored with. Let's just put it that way. And it was one Saturday. I was living in San Jose at the time, and called her up because some folks had told me that hey, the way she looks at you, she likes you. I thought about it. I'm like, well, let's see. So I called her up on a Saturday. I said, "You want to go to lunch or dinner?" And she was, I think, a bit shocked. 'Cause I didn't even say like, "Hey, how's your day going?" I just went right for it. Hey, lunch or dinner? So she said, okay, lunch. So I went up there near California Avenue, basically, which is just south of Palo Alto. It's almost like a attachment of Palo Alto, uh, that whole area there. But anyway, so we, so I was, happy. She said yes. So I thought, okay, well, maybe everybody was right. Maybe she did like me. So we went to a little pizzeria. We had pizza, and we're walking around, all these neat little shops and stuff. And basically, she said, "Nah, I can't go out with you, and we can't do this anymore." So I was like, I was pretty devastated. I was like, when I drove back to San Jose, I was like, man, I wish she would have at least told me, like, I appreciate the offer, but I can't go out with you, or anything. Like, even if she had said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm seeing somebody," or I felt like I'd wasted my time. And so, I don't remember how long after that, she had invited me. Her and her sister are really musically gifted. Like, they both, I think the one gal I was interested in, she plays the violin just incredible, and her sister plays, I think they both play piano and violin. They're very talented musicians. And so I went to a music recital. She invited me. It was her and her sister. They were playing some music and also singing some songs. I can't remember what all, what everything, what they were singing about, or what was the music. Yeah. But anyway, so I went. Now this was in a very nice area of Palo Alto, the person's house that had hosted their little music recital. And I in retrospect, I probably should have gone in, like, at least a nice collared shirt, some khakis, maybe a blazer, or a polo shirt and a blazer and some khaki, like, at least made an effort to look decent. I didn't, but me, I was a bit rebellious at that time. So I showed up I still think to this day, I think it was an Arsenal soccer jersey. I'm almost positive it was either Arsenal or the English national team soccer jersey. I had both, but I think it was the Arsenal one. Palo Alto's next 4.5 miles. So I showed up. And, I sat through, and I was just blown away how truly gifted she was as a musician. And so, there was, like, light refreshments, as they like to say. Light refreshments are going to be served. So, I stuck around for a little while, and I was commenting to somebody. I was just kind of, trying to be interactive with the other guests. Even though I felt a little out of my depth, but I said, yeah, I was really, this was just an amazing experience. I didn't know she was such a talented musician, and this guy looks me up and down. He's, like, giving me the eye, and then he says, "Oh, well, it's a good thing you came out and got cultured, huh?" It was just like a very out of nowhere kind of a comment. But I think, again, it was because I was wearing a soccer jersey, and I think I was probably wearing jeans and maybe even sneakers or something. I didn't put forth the effort. I think if I had, maybe, I wouldn't have gotten that kind of crazy comment. But yeah, so shortly after that comment was made, I made my way out and left, and thanked her for the invitation. Of course, I was trying to be at least a bit nice, even though I felt like I had just gotten insulted. But yeah, it was a yeah. So I always nicked. I remember her real name, and I'm not going to say it here, but another friend of mine, when I told him the story, we ended up, her nickname became Punch and Cookies. So yeah, I was kind of thinking about that the other day when I was doing the service from San Jose to San Francisco, that the game crashed when we were going into Hillsdale there. So yeah, Punch and Cookies. And and I guess the moral of the story is you shouldn't, you don't know. It doesn't hurt to ask if, or I guess maybe, if you like somebody, at least, hopefully it works out, but sometimes it doesn't. I thought she did like me, and I guess either she didn't want to admit it, or I don't know. But anyway, and I was also retelling. I was so kind of like, well, I was so much into her. Like, I spent the time making a mixed CD for her, and as I was saying the other day, for those who've never done something like that, that's when you care about somebody, you put a lot of effort into making, of course, when I was younger, it wasn't mixed CDs, it was mixed tapes, and you basically use music to kind of tell somebody how you felt about them, because that's something I think that people universally understood at that time. You could put a very romantic song on there, and they know by listening to that song how you feel about them. And it's not, there's books that have even been written about the whole making a mixed tape and the effort and the thought that goes into it. So for those who've never done that, it's if you ever get somebody who does that for you, that should mean something to you, because they thought enough of you to put together some music that they think, or in their mind, reminds them of you. And that's a pretty powerful thing, I think. But yeah, I made that kind of effort, and unfortunately it didn't pay off. But it is what it is. I don't know if she still listens to it, or if I even am enter her mind and as a thought, and say, oh, I wonder whatever happened to Robert. I think I kind of know what happened to her, but that's all right. It is what it is. Yeah, Punch and Cookies. Little Punch and Cookies. I reckon most everybody's has a Punch and Cookies kind of story from some point in their life. Maybe not exactly like that one, but I'm willing to bet a lot of people have that sort of situation, something they've encountered. All right, we're going straight to Santa Clara. We're bypassing everything else, going right there, 14 miles. So we're gonna be. Oh, another viewer came in. Well, welcome, welcome to both my viewers. If I didn't say it before, hopefully you're both doing well, whoever you are. Just finishing up the service here to San Jose. We got Santa Clara, and then right on into San Jose from there. So we're just about done. We've been going for just over an hour now. We're on a limited stop service from San Francisco, San Jose, here in the lovely MP36 baby bullet train. There's our train number. And if you're looking for the service number of which one we did 228. That's what that number is on the front there, for those who don't know. So we're just cruising along here. And we wrapping up after I came back in to do this. I wanted to do a service, and I was so frustrated with the way everything happened last night when the game crashed on me that I probably would have had the time to restart another one, but I just was like, eh. So here we are doing this service. We're going to go through a lot of areas that we would normally stop at, even on a limited stop service. But we'll make our stop in Santa Clara there, and then on into San Jose. And then we'll be wrapping this up. I'll get on the computer, download it, get it set for a premiere on YouTube, and then call it a night. So, yeah, I gotta try to do a little bit of reading tonight before I go to sleep. So, get that done as well. Excuse me. I get some laundry done tomorrow, and then I gotta get Friday morning. I gotta get up early and go get my COVID shot, my first one, and then come back home and try to get some stuff done, and maybe we'll do a service on Clinchfield. Almost forgot the name of the newest route. Clinchfield. We'll give that a go in the F7, and then Saturday I think we're gonna go back. We're gonna go to Great Western Expressway. There's a couple of scenarios that I want to do. One especially. I think there's one that involves the Class 101, which a lot of people, of course, when I hear people say, well, this locomotive, blah, 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 and it's usually just trash talking. So I'm of the opinion that when people kind of dump on a particular train, locomotive, EMU, DMU, whatever you want to call it, that I take that as a challenge to see, okay, well, let me see how well I work with it. What can I do with it? Do I feel comfortable enough where I'm like, okay, yeah, because a lot of the biggest complaint about the 101 is the brakes, because it's a lap brake system, kind of like what you have in the F40. You got to build the pressure, put it back into lap, and a lot of people struggle with that. And then they get frustrated, and they're like, For me, it wasn't so much the lap brake that I had a problem with when the first time I drove the 101. It was the gear change. But, it just, I've always said, and I think people have heard me say this numerous times, we're just going through, I think we just left Mountain View. I think we just went through Mountain View. Or we're getting... Nope, there's Mountain View right there. I kind of figured we were close to it. I thought we'd already passed it. Yeah, there's Mountain View. There's lots of things that are rewarding in this game. Oh, I lost him here. Oh, well. It can be fun. It just takes practice, and it's easy to get frustrated, I know. And I feel like I'm kicking a dead horse here, but, there was plenty of times when I first started playing Train Sim World 2020, the previous version of this game, that I was just like, I was frustrated. I was like, there was stuff I just wouldn't play for quite some time, or I'm like, I won't use this locomotive because it's just I don't know how to use it. But if you spend the time, if you have all the safety stuff off, first off, and just get used to just running the locomotive, and then add the other things in after that, then it's just like, oh, well, this wasn't so bad after all. I didn't like the Class 101, but now it's like, it's got its quirks. That's the way I look at it. It's got its quirks, and if I don't, I think part of it is that we all want perfection in the game. We want to be perfect. Every stop's got to be perfect. And if you do that, then I think you're going to be really disappointed. You're not going to have fun. Yeah, would I like to hit every stop on the mark or pretty close to it? Yeah. Is that always going to be possible? No. I have to learn to live with that. I can't let it bother me, because then I lose the enjoyment of the game. Just like I had the marker lights on the front locomotive, and somebody commented in my after I'd posted a video, oh, you don't need the marker lights on because you're driving that's the front. And I'm like, yeah, I know it's the front, but I just do it for fun. It's not, it's a game. It's not serious. It's not real. You can try to make it as close to real life as possible, but you can't expect everybody else to feel that way about the game. I think that's a bit unreasonable. But if that's how you want to play the game, by all means, go for it. Nobody's stopping you. But you can't impose that, or say, oh, you have to do every crossing, you have to toot the horn. Well, if I did that, then it'd be hard for me to talk in during the game. So what's the point of that? But I know they, in real life, that's what they would do. They would toot the horn, and a bunch of times, and so I just don't feel those MP15. I just don't feel obligated to do it, and I don't like people who, everybody can play this game however they want. You don't have to have all the safety systems on. Anybody who tells you have to is just full of it. I got plenty of enjoyment out of running Train Sim World 2020, and when I didn't know how to use the safety systems, I just, it took me a while to get used to just running the locomotives. And then when I started playing Train Sim World 2, and I started watching videos, people were like, oh, if you set it up like this is what this does. And I'm like, oh, well, that adds a whole other element to it. I like that. I wasn't ready for it before, though. But nobody should, and I saw it plenty of times in other games too, and I think I've said this before as well, and it just takes out the joy of the game. And that's really what it should be about. It shouldn't be about, well, okay, yeah, I'll run the game how you want me to play it. If you're feeling that compelled to do it, why don't you buy the game and you stream? That's just, after a while you're like, why am I putting all this, this is supposed to, I like this game for the fun of it. And I love trains. I love the history of railroads and stuff like that. So yeah, I just like to have fun. I try not to take it too seriously, because you do all that, and yeah, there's things that I try to. Trust me, there's plenty of times I've been sitting at my computer screaming at folks when I'm watching them play, like, oh my, why are you doing this? And don't you see the red coming up? And they manage to stop in time. They don't blow the red. I'm like having a heart attack. But it's their game, and This game can be for anybody, however immersive, within reason, of course. You know, because there's buttons and stuff that we can't, use. But, you know, you can make it fairly realistic and immersive. You can make it I guess, as challenging as you want to make it, in some respects. All right, we got about a mile to Santa Clara. It looks like we're going to be sitting there for just a bit of time. We got like 5 minutes or about 4 minutes to get there, and we're chugging along here. And we're going to get off the throttle here because we're going to need to get on the brakes and start slowing down. We definitely don't want to blow this station if we can help it. But yeah, I love this game. I'm looking forward to the future. I'm looking forward to seeing what Dovetail comes up with next, going forward. You know, I know that they have a lot of work cut out for them, still with the pandemic going on. Hopefully they've found some ways to work around that, if at all possible. All right, coming into Santa Clara. Wow, that is a nice stop. Look at that. Bam! Perfect. Look at that. That's the way we like it. Now we've got a red in front of us. So let's see. Oh, I hear a plane. Oh, look at that. There it is. There's another one too. Probably taken off from San Jose Airport. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what Dovetail does next. All right, let's see. Do we have a service who's going to go flying by us here? Let's go ahead and get the doors locked. Let's see if that red changes to green once we've gone. I kind of feel like we're waiting for a service to go past us here. Let's just have a look up the line here a little bit. Oh, nothing there. There's another plane. And another one over there. Now, what would have happened if they programmed in a mid-air collision? Not that I think Dovetail would do that, but could you imagine the... Oh, that would cause such an uproar. Oh, my goodness. They factored in a bit. Oh, okay, there is a train. Right. I just saw the... There's one there. Okay, there's one coming there. But we're still not quite there for us to be released from the red here. We got 30 seconds on our timer. I don't think it takes 7 minutes to... It's saying we have to be in San Jose at 9:40. So let's see what happens with this red. Where's that other train at now? Oh, okay, now it changed. Okay. I thought we were gonna have to wait for that other train. So that other train must be stopping somewhere else. So, all right, 2.5 miles to San Jose, Dearden. Another plane. Oh, we got train and plane traffic today. Fantastic. All kinds of stuff happening here on the Peninsula Corridor. Well, I appreciate the view today. Hopefully it's been my one viewer who's stuck the whole way through, I'm guessing. Appreciate it. Hopefully you found it entertaining and enjoying. You got a chuckle out of my punch and cookies story, hopefully. It's always a good one. Hadn't told that story in a while, I don't think. Got lots of stories. Not all of them I can share. So Friday, yep, Friday will be what's the Peninsula Corridor? Clinchfield Railroad. We'll be on the Clinchfield Railroad on Friday, and Saturday we're going to do at least one scenario, maybe two on Great Western Expressway. There's a few that I need to get done on there that I hadn't gotten done before. Really, I'm talking and I'm not even paying attention to the speed up ahead here. Probably gonna get popped for speeding here in a moment if I don't. No, not gonna drop down fast enough. Ooh, maybe I made it. Maybe I just made it. I might have ducked that one. Yep, I guess I did. That was Here's the maintenance yard here. Maintenance facility for Caltrain. The Southern Maintenance Facility. Got the train wash instead of car wash. It's a train wash. And you got the maintenance buildings there. You can pull. The trains can be pulled in there and worked on outside of so they're not out in the rain or heat or whatever. And then you got the refueling racks here. One over there, one right here. So now we're going to see a lot of lag because we're going to go into San Jose here. It is really laggy. This is the point where I always worry about the game going kaput on me. A couple F40s over there are all lined up for. Looks like maybe they're getting ready to go into service. But it's been enjoyable. Glad to. I thought about it. I'm like, I got the time. I guess I can. Let's do another run on Peninsula Corridor and try to make up for what happened yesterday. So here we are. It's been, other than a few hiccups, kind of getting a little too not paying much attention and missing breaking points and whatnot. It's been a good service. I fully expect we'll get a gold. I can't see any reason why we won't. We've been on time. That we were short one stop. We weren't completely on time, so we didn't get our full 500 for our passengers. So we, but other than that, we've been on time. So we should get our, get the full, or we should get a gold medal here once we pull into San Jose and let off the passengers and then close the door and wrap up the service. So now this, for those of you who don't know, and I think I've mentioned this before, and if I have, sorry, but it bears repeating. This line does go all the way down to Gilroy. So this isn't, I think it used to be, until Caltrain expanded a bit more, that basically the Peninsula Corridor service would terminate here in San Jose, but then they extended the line. I don't know when that happened. I'd have to look that up. Maybe next time I'm on the line, we'll know that information. We'll talk about it. But yeah, they expanded the line to include service all the way to Gilroy. So that's it would be nice if we could go all the way down there too, but you know, this is a pretty good sized route, and it's going to tell us how far we actually drove. This is pretty substantial for what it is. You know, so, but yeah, going even further south to Gilroy would be fun, especially if it was a limited or non-stop service to Gilroy. But yeah. All right. Well, we will be on time here as well. Oh, look at another. Oh, we just. Oh, man. I thought we were going to have another perfect stop there, but pretty darn close to it. All right, so this long train there, you can drive this. It's a special service. Once you buy the MP15, this is the Martin Luther King birthday special. You can drive it to San Francisco and back to San Jose. And you can actually also put together the train using the MP15 and then bring it over to San Jose here. All right, let's see how we did. Gold. Lovely. Got the gold. Leveled up a little bit. 46.73 miles. So we'd say rounded up 47 miles. That's a pretty good amount, I think. So anyway, thank you for watching. I will see you on Friday on the. I will say it again. Clinchfield Railroad. I don't know why I keep saying I want to say see you on Friday on Peninsula Corridor, because that's not the case. I will see you on Friday on Clinchfield Railroad, Saturday on the Great Western Expressway. All right. Have a